There's an old saying that goes like this: the more you have, the more you want. This is something that all of us have experienced at some point or another in our life. For example, let's say I give you $100 today. You feel pretty happy about that. But then maybe I follow up with, "Hey, by the way, I gave your neighbor $120. Immediately, your happiness levels drop because now you're thinking, "I wish I had $120. And what might happen is that we start to become discontent with what we have, and we start to resent the person who has more than us. Now, the reality is that most people don't actually compare themselves to the people next door. We typically compare ourselves to the people that we see on TV, which is why having so much always leads to wanting more. But the problem with this mentality is that it's a never-ending cycle, and if we aren't careful, it can quickly cause us to spiral out of control. On average, how many hours do you think people spend every day on their phones? It's reported that it's around 3 hours. So let's just take a quick guess. How many of those hours are spent comparing yourself to others on social media? If you're anything like me, it's probably a lot. The sad truth is that the more we engage in these behaviors, the less fulfilled we become. And the reason for this is quite simple. It's because the vast majority of us are living a life based on comparison, instead of living a life based on gratitude. Let me rephrase this because I know the word gratitude might sound a little bit off. Instead of being grateful for what we have, we're constantly looking at other people and wishing we could have what they have. But the truth is that this is a very dangerous place to put ourselves in. You see, when we focus our attention on all of the things that we lack, what we end up doing is that we open the door for feelings of discontentment to creep into our lives. The longer that we allow these feelings to linger, the more damage they can do over time. Now, I'm not saying that we should completely ignore the things that we lack, but there is a delicate balance that we need to strike between acknowledging these things while at the same time remaining grateful for everything that we have. I remember reading a story years ago about a farmer who had his farmhouse that was located in the countryside. One day, a tornado swept through the area and destroyed his farmhouse. After the dust settled, the farmer found himself homeless. At first, he felt completely devastated because he lost everything that he had worked so hard for his entire life. But then, after some time, the farmer started to realize that even though he lost his material possessions, one thing that he didn't lose was his family. In fact, this experience brought him and his family members closer together. He also realized that his house was filled with junk and that he actually didn't need any of the stuff that he lost. Finally, because he had nothing left to lose, the farmer decided to take a risk and start a new business. As a result of all of these positive changes, the farmer actually ended up becoming a happier person, despite the fact that he was worse off on paper. Now, I'm not suggesting that we should all go out and get hit by a tornado in order to become happier. But what I am trying to highlight is that sometimes we need to reach rock bottom in order to change our perspective. Because until we hit rock bottom, we won't realize how strong we truly are. Think about the times in your own life where you faced some sort of obstacle. How did you overcome that obstacle? What did you learn about yourself in the process? Chances are that if we analyze our past experiences, we will find that each and every one of them has been a blessing in disguise. You see, when we look at the big picture, we realize that our experiences, both good and bad, shape us into the people that we are today. We also realize that everything happens for a reason. So even though we may be going through a difficult period in our life right now, if we zoom out a little bit, we will see that it's all part of the bigger plan. Now, here's the interesting thing. There are a select few people who seem to understand this concept better than the rest of us. And as a result, these individuals are able to live a life full of contentment regardless of their situation. Think about a person that you know who seems to be content with whatever they have. Do you think that they got lucky? Or do you think that they possess some sort of wisdom that the rest of us don't have? Well, according to a study done by psychologists, it turns out that it's not luck that causes these individuals to be content, but rather it's their mindset. So let's take a look at 4 reasons why some people are content with what they have, while the rest of us are constantly wanting more. Starting with number 1, the greedy often live in scarcity. Those who know contentment often live in abundance. Have you ever met someone who, no matter how much money they made, they always felt like they wanted more? Let's say you meet someone who's making $100,000 a year and you ask them how they're doing. They tell you that they're great. Then you run into them 5 years later and you ask them how they're doing. They tell you that they're great. But deep down, both you and them know that they would be a lot happier if they were making $1 million a year. Even after they reach that goal, I guarantee that you will run into them 10 years from now and they will still want more. Now, you might think that I'm exaggerating, but studies have shown that our happiness levels only increase by a maximum of 7% after we make more money. After that point, the effect starts to diminish rapidly. So, why is this the case? Well, it all has to do with our mindset. You see, when we adopt a greedy mindset, we become like a bottomless pit that can never be filled. And the more we try to feed this bottomless pit, the more that it expands, causing us to feel like we will never have enough. On the other hand, those who adopt an abundant mindset understand that there is plenty of money to go around, and because of this, they don't feel the need to fight tooth and nail with other people in order to get a larger piece of the pie. Instead, they focus their attention on creating value for other people, and as a result, they're able to live a life full of abundance. Which brings us to our next point, which is that the greedy often get blinded by greed, while those who know contentment are often focused on serving other people. Think about the people that you know who have gotten consumed by greed. What do they value above all else? Money. How much money can I make? How much money do I have compared to other people? Chances are that these individuals have completely forgotten about the things that really matter in life, such as spending quality time with loved ones or pursuing their passions. On the other hand, those who know contentment tend to focus on the following question: how can I serve other people? When we shift our mindset from what can I get to what can I give, it not only makes us happier, but it also tends to lead to more success in our endeavors. The reason for this is quite simple. It's because when we help other people, they appreciate it and they want to help us back. No. 3. The greedy often worry about the future, while those who know contentment worry about the present. You see, when we're fixated on obtaining more and more stuff, we start to worry about the future. Things like, will I be able to maintain my lifestyle if I stop working hard? Or, what if something happens to me and my family loses everything that they have? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we shouldn't prepare for the future. Of course, we should set aside money for retirement or health issues that may arise. But the key is to keep our worries in check. Those who know contentment are able to stay in the present moment and enjoy their life instead of worrying about potential problems that may arise in the future. Finally, number 4, the greedy often build walls around their heart, while those who know contentment welcome others into their life. This one is quite self-explanatory. When we focus too much on ourselves and our own needs, we start to build walls around our heart. On the other hand, when we start to focus on other people and helping them, these walls start to crumble. At the end of the day, contentment is a mindset that we can all adopt if we try hard enough. So my challenge to you is to start paying more attention to the things that you are grateful for. Start paying more attention to the people in your life who embody contentment and learn from them. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video next on signs of true contentment. And if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. See you in the next video.